Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. And assuming I don't get kicked offline again, we are live 20 seconds ahead of schedule, at least according to my screen, and I'm looking at the live video page on YouTube, not my channel page at youtube.com/lockergnome, but the permalink for this particular video. And it seems that people are already sharing the video, which is kind of nice. And I do have Mr. King Naz confirming that I am indeed live, at least at this point in time. So I know that coming ahead of the marker, we are generally doing fine. The marker being the countdown when it actually hits 0. Although I got to tell you, YouTube's been kind of sticky as of late, for one reason or another. And I know that this week people have they've kind of dipped off because they're watching like a million other people cover CES. So this is, for this hour that I know of, a CES-free zone, unless you bring up something related to CES, and if you do, then we will, of course, then address that, because there may be something you've seen at CES in you going there, or you may have seen some kind of announcement. Everything I've seen, though, so far has pretty much been incremental. Some interesting updates, certainly, but nothing really to get, I would say, terribly excited about. That's just my opinion, and I do get excited about things, just not every single thing that happens. So thank you, of course, for tuning in for the live broadcast. And I'm going to go ahead and give her a few minutes just to make sure that everybody is good to go. And I think we have, 16 likes so far. So raising my glass of grape juice plus to you, and I'll explain exactly why I'm drinking this. Today, I was going to drink tea, but then Diana said, you've been having one heck of a day. Wonder if it's time to dip into the grape juice plus a couple hours early. And I thought that was a really good idea. That's a fantastic idea, actually. It's been a tough day for Wednesday on a hump day. You're not exactly near the weekend, but you're not that far away from it. It's kind of in between the hump. That's what they call it, hump day, by the way, because it's a hump. Now, we'll be over the hump after we do this particular broadcast, which is good, I would say. And what's interesting, now, even though I know I'm broadcasting and people have confirmed that they're watching it, someone's asking, when does this start? I am up at the night so I can watch this. I have no idea where you're tuning in from. But I tell you, we had about 850 people sign Diana's guest book for her birthday yesterday. go.tagjag.com/Diana's birthday. Thank you for that. I think it made one hell of a present. She really appreciated that. And I would say most of you were really kind, which kind of shocks me, considering the opposite seems to happen anytime I post a photo of Diana on my Facebook page. So it looks like people are saying that indeed this is live, although, like I said, I just got to be careful about doing it, because if I say it too early, then some people say I can't watch it, and I still think that there's some kind of YouTube 5-minute bug that they're still ignoring me about. They're still ignoring me about? There's a YouTube bug about which... No. So apparently there's a 5-minute delay in the video, and I keep telling YouTube and they keep ignoring me. There's no awkwardness, I think, in the grammar or structure of that particular sentence. Although I keep concerning myself that the microphone that I'm using has got a little battery, like a watch battery, and I'm afraid that I keep forgetting to turn it off when I'm finished with the live broadcast on YouTube, the TLDR episode, the Locker Gnome Daily Report. I do have replacement batteries, but it seems that the battery doesn't wear as much when I'm not engaging it directly, like with my voice, like right here, for some reason or another. So thank you for putting up with the various bugs that we have to run into. In fact, that's one of the first videos I want to record today before we dive into the array of articles that we have on lockergnome.com today, including potentially some new Wi-Fi not exactly new. It's not exactly old either. It's kind of a repurposing of the Spectrum. We'll dive into that. And then we've also got a few app recommendations to make, whether you're using iPhone or Android. So we've got some of those things. But the first thing I wanted to dive into is one of the reasons why I'm trying to unwind myself as I'm, needing to be in a semi-good mood when I do these broadcasts. Because, if I come across as angry, then everybody asks, "You mad, bro?" I don't know. Although I see on the chat room at live.pirillo.com, because I've got the audio pulled up there, Johnny K is saying it's YouTube Live is now working. Although Blizzardo1 Muffin says, "I feel bad for Chris." Why do you feel bad for me? Am I pathetic? Is that why you feel bad for me? I mean, that's a good reason to feel bad for me, I guess. But all right, let's go ahead and rock and roll and explain exactly why I need to breathe a bit. And I realize that I can't breathe while I'm drinking, because generally speaking, those two things would cancel each other out. I don't want to, choke. Let's warn everybody on the Twitters that I am going to be doing this live. I titled it, you can look for the tweet right now, at Chris Pirillo on Twitter, or at Locker Gnome. I don't know if they're going to retweet this yet. We've discovered the geek side of the Force. Tweeting that out. And let's go ahead and post that to Facebook. Too. That's at facebook.com/Chris Pirillo. Now, with over 45,000 likes, that many people like me, which is kind of crazy, considering how many people I block on a daily basis for being misogynists. Oh, it's really bad. And then let's go ahead, press the share button on the video page and a +1, because you know why this is important. I explained that in a video yesterday during the live TLDR broadcast, the Locker Gnome Daily Report. So, during the 5 minutes that I'm broadcasting live that you can't see me, you can either go back and watch it after it's been recorded on YouTube, or you could tune in simultaneously on live.pirillo.com. You get a completely different angle, almost like a behind the scenes of sorts, even though this is the camera that I'm choosing to speak to, because this is where the YouTube audience is at this point in time. So let's go ahead and say welcome to Bree NCZ, who says, "First time watching your vids." Toolboy44 asks if I like Mindstorms. Indeed, I do. In fact, I circled someone today on Google Plus who works for Lego Mindstorms, which was just kind of neat. Let's see here. There's always been a geek side to the Force. Where is your Chris mug? It is not here today. 1992 T Brown, 2012. This is some Grape Juice Plus that I'm using as a social lubricant so that I don't come across as antisocial during today's live broadcast. And so let me do a video on that today, right now. I think you'll like this. Today's live Locker Gnome Daily Report broadcast, or TLDR, the Locker Gnome Daily Report for short, which we try to do every weekday at 3 p.m. Pacific, live on YouTube, and you can interact with us in the chat box and everything. It almost didn't happen. 2 hours ago, suddenly the internet connection stopped working. So my first thought, okay, I need to reboot the system. So I did that. Still wasn't working. So I looked at the diagnostics on the router itself, and I had an internet connection. And I could use the diagnostic tools on the router, but I could not get any kind of internet connection on any device that I connected to the router, either directly or by way of another switch. So I had to call up my ISP, Comcast. You might remember I was going back and forth between Comcast Business and Residential, and I was Residential for a while, saving a massive amount of money, but coming dangerously close of using too much data according to the assholes at Comcast. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say assholes? I meant pricks. So basically what had happened, I called up one CSR, customer service representative, and I asked them what was going on. They could not find my account because I work at home. So I had to switch back to a business account at home with using residential services for my television service, which I do think is okay. I think it's overpriced dramatically, but it's still okay, the TV part of things. But I had to use the business class internet so that they wouldn't cap me, which is an artificial number that they pulled straight out of someone's ass. Consider it's just covered in shit, this number that they say, oh, 250 gigabytes, that's more than enough. Okay, so I call them up. What's going on? They said, well, we don't know. We can't find your account. I'm like, you can't find my account? My name is Chris Pirillo. I spelled it out for him. The business name, Locker Gnome. They still couldn't find it. So I got frustrated, and I hung up, and I went and searched for an exact account number, which took me a while to see if I could dig it up. Even after reading the MAC address, the hexadecimal code on the bottom of the router, they still couldn't find my account. So I called another CSR, and they were, I think, a little easier to deal with, seemingly. And I told them what was going on. They said, oh, well, your account is delinquent. And I was shocked. I said, well, I thought I was set up on autopay. And, when you have things set up on autopay, you just assume they're automatically being paid? Is that, too much? So, okay. Beep, 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 beep. I'm backing the truck up. I said, all right, well, we can take care of that. It should not be an issue. But what the hell happened? Well, apparently, when I believe that I originally set up autopay, they explained to me, this new CSR, it said, well, we have a thing where the first time it's set up for autopay, you have to call us to confirm it. I'm like, well, I'm confirming it now. It's okay to autopay. Yeah, but we have a system that after you set up autopay, you have to confirm it. The first month that it's, I said, whoa, okay. In what universe is it logical that once you set up autopay, you don't actually have it autopay until you confirm for the first time that you want it paid automatically? What? Comcast, in the entire galaxy of services, has the worst fucking customer communication experience ever. You have no idea how frustrating it was to have my account turned off without being warned. Not once. My account was apparently 72 days delinquent. I didn't get a phone call. They had my phone number on their books. They knew exactly where I lived. Not a single message did I receive after I believed everything was set up to be automatically paid, only to realize that after setting it up, I needed to set it up again. So, thanks to credit card, I am broadcasting live again from my home office. But Comcast can kiss my hairy yellow butt. It's a quote from Homer Simpson. I think. Something like that. Oh, if I had an alternative, believe you me, I would switch away in a heartbeat. But I don't. The alternative I have is DSL at 1/10 the speed. You can't do that, dude. You can't go from a high-speed connection to a questionable speed connection. 10 megabits would be too slow for me. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I would cry blood at that point. I have a business, and I'm more than willing to pay for business services. And for the amount of money that this household spends on Comcast every month, or, well, we thought we were, I'd expected a little more warning. Oh, I wish I had an alternative. Believe you me, I would switch to fiber in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Comcast is anti-consumer. They don't care about you, dude. They don't. And that's from the top down. They don't care. Oh, they went over 250 gigs. Let's shut them off from the internet for a year. They can do that. And it's legal. It's asinine, but it's illegal. Oh, well, I'm sorry. It should be illegal. It is not. And Comcastic. That is why I'm trying to unwind with this. Thank you, honey, for thinking of me. Instead of tea, which would have been more caffeine, you're putting me on downers. Wise move. My girlfriend is very smart. So, she's doing it for you, and I think they appreciate that, sweetie. They call this nerd rage. Yes! What should I title that video? Comcast. Nerd rage! You mad, bro? Yeah, I'm mad! All right, so I'm happy about something. Daniel W.E. Jones, I don't know if you got the email last night, but I'm going to be, unboxing and using this later in the live TLDR broadcast. So you can stay tuned for that. We'll also record a separate video. Diana, you've never played the Atari, have you?
No.
So Daniel W.E. Jones gifted this at tagjag.com/wishlist. And Diana will play Atari for the first time, and we will see that happen. I'm waiting for my portable screen to charge because it connects by way of a composite cable. It's going to be fun. So there, that'll hopefully cheer me up.
Yeah.
Playing video games that I had when I was a child. Boy, I kind of used a couple of bad words in that last video. Sorry for upsetting adults out there. I should warn people about that, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, I probably well, either I got a lot more people watching or a few people left after I got upset about Comcast. I should warn them. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Checking this. Google Plus Hangout, please, says Noi Hillel. Yeah, 300 likes, maybe. I was just about to upgrade to Xfinity, but not going to because of you. Thanks, says Thick Glasses 1. I would not give Comcast any more money than I needed to. All right, so let's talk about Wi-Fi. Internet connections that should work. So, you probably have Wi-Fi, and if you don't, the chances of Wi-Fi signals bouncing off you or potentially going through you are pretty high. I don't know if that's doing any damage to your system at all. That really kind of remains to be seen. We'll probably find out 50 years from now that Wi-Fi, makes us all stupid, in which case I would wonder what's going on right now. So we wrote an article on lockergnome.com that's covering a new, spectrum for Wi-Fi that can help some people who haven't had access to, a better connection. And that's really the easiest way to say it. So let's go ahead, click the link in the description on the show notes. White space Wi-Fi coming right now to Wilmington, North Carolina. Check it out. I'm going to go ahead and +1 it, tweet it, like it on Facebook. Hopefully you will as well. The idea of expanding the spectrum for Wi-Fi it's a good one. I mean, who wouldn't want to have more spectrum by which you could connect to the internet wirelessly, or really any network that's using Wi-Fi. It's not just for the internet. And we have this spectrum now that was traditionally being used by television providers, local providers, and now they can't. They can't send out analog signals. But we have all this white space now. And so it was proposed to the FCC that we could reuse this white space to basically improve the current system of Wi-Fi. And the changes now are really going to impact those who live, and as quoted in the article, on the fringe of a faster internet, because they live not in the middle of a city, they live on the edge of a town. And by opening up this part of the spectrum, it may help them get a better connection to the wireless internet. And this, by and large, despite what may go wrong with things, if it's not being used, because television service providers say, no, we think that it's going to be disruptive. Don't exactly know how that works. I doubt it is that way. Television executives. So the idea of opening up this part of the spectrum was passed to the FCC, and they are moving forward with it tentatively. I think did I say that word right? Tentatively. I always hang on. Let me fact check. Tentatively. Yeah. Because it hasn't been fully worked out. I said that right. It's amazing when an English major actually uses a word correctly. Thank God I didn't have to go down to the library to look it up. So this is a good thing, by and large. And you should read about why this would be good to come to your town, especially if you live on the fringe. Although I think most of the people who watch the videos that we do on YouTube, even my parents, they have a decent internet connection, but it could be better, right? Wirelessly, it could be better, I would imagine. This is just one way. So read up about white noise. We've really explained everything that you might need to know about it in the article that you can click and read and share, if you like it, with the rest of your community. The buttons for social sharing are on every page on lockergnome.com, and they're on this video page as well. See, under the share button? Check it out. Club soda? No. Cream soda? Can I try some?
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic beverage? Not that I'm drinking alcohol.
Cream soda.
I try to avoid sugar, but I take a couple sips.
Yeah.
This is natural cane sugar, is it not? Yeah. It's kind of fun. Okay, there we go. Got some sugar. Got some more sugar over here. All right. There is a new app called Savvy. Oh, this is awesome. So I'm reading an article here on lockergnome.com. We've linked it in the description for this video. It's about an app that's available for iPhone or iOS and Android. It's called Savvy. Now check it out. I'm going to read this directly from the site. It's an app that's designed to eliminate the common problem of post-purchase price reductions by indexing the price adjustment policies for dozens of popular stores and notifying consumers by email of potential savings. You know how long I've waited for something like this? You might remember a couple of weeks ago, I complained about Target and their customer service online because they made some price adjustments. And I had bought some Lego sets, and they dropped in price, like by half. And I could have saved a lot of money with a price adjustment. But it was kind of a pain in the neck. I mean, I had to scout for those price adjustments. So now, an app will do it for me. Dude, if you spend money on things, and let's face it, you probably do, or let's say, even if it's not you, if you know someone who spends money on things and they have a smartphone or you do, install this free application. And I love free applications that help you make money or help you save money. Those are my favorite applications of all time. I'm not talking about the simple Amazon app or eBay app. I mean, applications that are dedicated to helping you save money. Come on, that you only have so much money. I have only so much money. So when I save money, that means I could spend that money that I saved on other things. Wouldn't you rather have a happier life by being able to go, let's say, dining with your girlfriend or wife or significant other more than once a week? And you could do that if you saved enough money to pay for 2 meals without spending any more money? It's just, a different way of thinking about how you're purchasing things. So when you buy things now, check out the Savvy application. This is not, I guess, anything other than a review. It's not an endorsement. It's just a way to possibly save you money. And I don't think that that's really too much of an issue. If you want more information, you can check out the full-on description as well as reasons why you might want to save money in case you hadn't put 2 and 2 together. And most people would know, oh yeah, saving money is a good thing. The link is on lockergnome.com. Hopefully you like it, and hopefully you'll share it. Oh, someone said, you're getting boring, only they spelled your, Y-O-U-R. Nintendo Capramoon 63. It's Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, dumbass. All right. Top 5 iPad apps for comic lovers. Some of my earliest memories in childhood happened to be at my grandparents' house, and they had comic books that even then were old. I mean, they were falling apart and everything, like old Disney comic books, Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. I even remember there's one character, and I think it was in conjunction with Scrooge McDuck, called the Phantom Blot. I just barely remember this. The Phantom Blot. I wonder if that... Maybe I made that up in my head. I haven't bothered to Google it. But, I did grow up with comics. Some years later, I ended up getting a stack of comics as a Christmas present from my Uncle Chris, my namesake. And it was kind of neat, to read comics. But I never really got into them as much as other geeks have. And I imagine there are quite a few comic geeks in the crowd. Of course, if you are, I'm sure you're going to be more than welcome to share your favorite comic. Okay, here's the question then. If I don't know anything about comics, and I like nice drawings, art, graphic novels, if I need a place to start, where should it be? If you had to make a recommendation for someone who never really got into comics but certainly likes the comic idea, give me some good places to start. Now, to help get other people started, including myself, we've uncovered some iPad apps, and I know there are a lot of iPad owners in the audience, our top 5 iPad apps for comic lovers. And as a matter of fact, I know what you're saying. Well, Chris, I have an Android tablet. Many of these also have an Android equivalent. So this article that we have for you on lockergnome.com, linked in the description for this video right now, feel free to +1 it, share it, tweet it, whatever you got to do to let other people know. Now, one of these apps, admittedly, is from Marvel, and Marvel is currently a supporter of SOPA. So I don't know if you're a Marvel fan, but I got to tell you, I'm a little lukewarm on Marvel right now. So if you're going to make a recommendation, hopefully it's not in that particular universe. They do have an app, however, available to more easily organize and, I guess, digest the various comics that are available from Marvel. Then, of course, there's Comixology's comics application. And some people like this as well, because it's not just, just part of, say, just Marvel, but they also have DC and a multitude of other comic book publishers. And I think that's the type of electronic comic book reading storefront that I would want. I don't want to be using one app for one thing and one app for another thing. I just like using one app, period. Because having to manage multiple subscriptions all across the board, I mean, that could get expensive really quick. And to tell you the truth, I know that some people collect comics because they are collectible, like the printed editions. I think I'd probably be just as happy to save money and just look at the comics in a digital format. Actually, what would be even better, and maybe one of them does this, to be able to subscribe to the printed edition and then get the electronic edition for free. You know, that would be really. Are any of them doing this? That'd be nice. Comic Zeal is another one that is recommended. The downside is that it isn't free, but it doesn't rely on in-app sales of individual titles to make a profit. So it gives you a universal binary for both iOS and, for all flavors of iOS, that, like iPad, iPod Touch, iPhone. But with it, you can open up your CBZ file, CBR, RAR, zip, and PDFs within a single app. So if you had compressed comic book files that you had archived yourself at some point in time, this would be the app that you would use. And since it's universal, it's just kind of nice. Digital Comics by Madcap Studios, another one that's recommended. Comic Book Lover by Bit Cartel, and that one will also allow you to read CBZ and CBR files, and it's free. So you don't necessarily have to spend money or spend more money to organize your comics, to read comics in an electronic format. And you may have your own favorites, whether it's your favorite comic or whether it's your favorite comic app. Certainly looking for recommendations. Death of Superman, Black Bag Sealed, says Evangelist Soldier. Well, or Death of Superman Black, Bag Sealed. I can't tell if it's Superman Black. I didn't know there was Superman Black. That could be. Color e-ink readers for comics would be great. I believe they are testing color e-ink right now. Let's see here. Scanning through and seeing if... there's Star Wars and Star Trek comic book, Chris. Yes, I probably would start with Star Wars. I just don't know which part of Star Wars I would start with, because there's so many of them out there. I don't know. It's difficult to say, and I know comics aren't for everybody, but even I have read comics. I just haven't spent a lot of money on comics because they could get expensive. And of the things that I want to collect as a geek, I don't know if comics are one of them. So I'd probably be happy with virtual editions. So if you have any other recommendations, feel free to make them, whether we're talking about the apps on the article itself or comic books in general. Are they still a good investment in terms of saving up money? I know someone, now granted, not comic books, but they had collected all the original Star Wars figures all the way through Power of the Force, I believe, and were selling like 90 some odd near mint condition figures for like $5,000. Crazy. And I know they didn't spend that much when they originally bought those figurines. Wow. Marvel vs. DC number 1, 2, and 3. Ooh, is that new? That actually sounds kind of interesting. Ooh, are there Lego comics? This might get expensive real quick. Get fiber optics. I can't. V for Vendetta and Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. You are awesome, dude, but you mad recently. Says 100% overed. I'm not mad. I get angry at some people, especially if they're trying to talk smack about me and they don't do it right. Like, if you're going to... Here's the thing. You can tell me I'm boring. That's not my problem. It's actually your problem. But if you're going to do it, at least use the right form of your. You don't use the possessive form of your. You're stupid. What about my stupid? It's not your. Y-O-U apostrophe R-E would be correct. And I don't care if English isn't your native tongue. If you're going to talk smack, at least do it, in a grammatically correct fashion. I would just appreciate that. It kind of makes it easier for me to deal with you, really. As we were streaming this live TLDR broadcast, the Locker Room Daily Report, as we do every weekday at 3 p.m., I had a few people call me and went right to voicemail. But here's the funny thing. Even though I have voicemail on my phone, I very rarely listen to it. I don't know if my outgoing message says, "Hi, you've reached Chris Pirillo. Don't leave a message. Email me instead." My email address, of course, is chris@pirillo.com. And I tell people, do not leave a message. I never listen to voicemail, very rarely. And I even warn my family, and they get mad. "You never call me back." "Well, did you email me?" "No, I called." "When'd you call?" "Last year." "Did you leave a message?" "Yeah." "Did you hear that I don't listen to messages?" "That doesn't matter." It does. I don't like voicemail. Never liked voicemail, despite it being easy to access these days. We have uncovered a handful of applications that may help you with... Oh, look, got another phone call coming in. It's a phone call. I don't want to show the phone number outright, but I'm letting it go to voicemail. Did you hear it? It was buzzing there for a second. I'm not making this stuff up. People call me all the time, and I tell them, "Stop calling! Email! Please!" "You mad, bro?" "Yeah." I don't like voicemail, but these applications may get me using voicemail a little more regularly. I actually like some voicemail services like through Google Voice that transcribe the voicemail to text that I can read and reply to in email. I like that. See, if more voicemail was crossed over into email, it'd be so much easier for me to use and reply to. So we've made a few app recommendations on lockergnome.com. The article is linked in the show notes where we have all the direct links, as well as some tips and tricks for using voicemail, I guess. So one of these apps is called On Voice Feed. And after you walk through this particular, the setup, you can set up different voicemail greetings depending on who's calling you. Kind of neat. I don't know if I'd really use that all that frequently, though. I do take phone calls, but usually they're from people who don't realize that I hate talking on the phone. Umail is another one that was recommended. Youmail. And then Phone Tag is yet another app recommendation that has been made, and this will work with a variety of providers, not just for people who have an iPhone or Android, I guess. I know that Jake Luddington uses Phone Tag because when I have to call him, because I can't get a hold of him, look at voicemail. They have no idea, really. I told them to stop calling because it's probably... Why not call forwarding? It's much better. If it could call forward to an email, I'd be thrilled. But when I have to call Jake, it's please speak clearly. Your voicemail will be translated by Phone Tag. So it's like I'm sending him an email, but just by voice. So if I'm in the car and I need to get a hold of him, I will have to call him. And I know he hates talking on the phone more than I do. But he's already set up the system so that it's automatically translated, voice to text, so that all he has is an email and he doesn't have to actually listen to anything. And then we take it from there in email. So I think the idea of voicemail was good at one time, but voicemail is past its prime. Dude, it's ripe. It's ready to be taken out in the back and shot. It's dead. I can't stand voicemail. Oh, I can't stand it. So if you still use voicemail, still have a need for it in your life and looking for more customization features, we have a few options available for you. If you didn't know they already existed, well, then I guess we've done our job. Definitely get it for your family. Orange is funny. I don't get it. Orange is funny? Well, I know there's a wireless provider called Orange, but that doesn't really make any sense. Do I answer texts? Not always. Not always. No, I don't. Which I realize it'd be convenient to just hit reply and text back, but I've run out of app space on my headset. Do you use a pager? I never used a pager. i36 Mafia, never. I don't know. They just seem to be user unfriendly to me. Even voicemail. Oh, I remember voicemail back in the day before the iPhone. Oh, it's horrible. Oh, it's horrible. Here's a good one. Has another voicemail comes in. Did you hear this? Another voicemail. I think they know now. They're annoying me. They know. You mad, bro? I think it's probably the title of the... No, that should be... It's a horrible title to make. You know. Chris, there's no like button. I'm watching the live show from your channel. Help. Well, Thick Glasses 1, look at the video page itself. I have to say this in every episode. Every single episode. Look at the video page, not the channel page. There's a difference. And if you need the direct link to the video page, you can look at my Twitter account or Facebook profile, or you can click the video embed from the Google Plus page. That's where the like button is. They've buried it for some reason. Google Plus has, or I'm sorry, YouTube. Although at some point in the future, those two may become like one and the same. I wouldn't be surprised. I used to record a dial tone as my personalized greeting so I wouldn't get voicemails. Says I use IMAX RV. That is intelligent. I wish I thought of that. Even though back then I did say, do not leave a voicemail. I did. All right. Does gaming cause depression? This is something that we actually researched. We heard about a study being conducted by Dan Lawton at Victoria University. And it was really interesting. Based on the amount of feedback that we get, especially when we talk about gaming in this particular channel, I know there are a lot of gamers in our audience. And for that reason alone, we took a deeper look at a recent study that was published and also published our, findings and summation of this particular study on lockergnome.com. The article is linked in the description. You may want to look at it if you are a gamer or if you know of a gamer. Title of the article, aptly, is Does Gaming Cause Depression? And it's been found to be linked, especially for people who are hardcore gamers. In some cases, you could say that gaming causes the depression. And in other cases, the depression that you might be in could lead to more gaming. I mean, they may be linked. It's an escape. And that's what gaming is. It's a form of entertainment. In some cases, you can make a career out of gaming, and that's awesome if you can. I wouldn't say that you can make a career in being depressed unless you want to be a comedian, but I doubt that would be the path you'd want to take. The study itself is currently being conducted out of Victoria University by Dan Lawton, and he's currently completing his PhD in psychology through investigating a correlation between video game playing and health. And so we contacted Dan and we asked him, hey, give us some ideas here. What are some warning signs? Why do you believe that this is a possibility? He's hoping for a continuous block of data over 9 months from about 300 to 400 people. But the more participants, the more participants take part, the more valid the findings and the more representative of gamers worldwide. And he also notes other factors, and we ask these qualifying questions. The study takes into account past mental health diagnosis as well as treatment history, so substance abuse, on down the line. He also, asks participants if they've been stressed out by other events. So could gaming cause depression? Or could depression lead to more gaming as a form of escapism? Something to consider. If you find yourself gaming more frequently, you might ask yourself why. It could be because you're trying to increase your dopamine excretion. You're happy. Yay, I achieved something. And that's cool. We all find ways to entertain ourselves. But if you're using gaming as an escape mechanism without dealing with other stresses and problems, you could be making matters worse. This study, as it continues to unfold, will certainly be interesting to watch, if only because it is convenient to play video games these days. They're everywhere, whether we're sitting in front of a television set, in front of a computer, or on a mobile device or a tablet computer. It doesn't really matter. If that's all you do, that's generally a problem. I mean, if all I did was sit in front of this computer all day and that's it, that would be a problem. This is one of the reasons why I'm not in front of this computer all day long. And I know that we do have a fantastically younger audience that this may be an issue if there are stresses that they are escaping. This doesn't mean that gaming's bad. It means that if you have signs of depression and are using gaming as an outlet, it may not be the healthiest route that you'd want to take for yourself. And if you know of a gamer that may be may apply for this study, may let them know that it's actually happening. I know a few people out there are very depressed, and they don't even know it. I mean, just because you're depressed doesn't mean you're showing classic signs of depression. Sometimes it manifests itself in other ways. Me, I may get angry at times, but I'm not depressed. I am. Please tell me why. I don't know what that meant. Imbalanced by Design says, I know people who started playing video games in moderation and no longer experience SAD, that is seasonal affective disorder, likely because of their increased dopamine levels. I find gaming helps, keeps my mind occupied. What's the worst case that could happen with gaming? You ever smelled a gamer? Sometimes they game so much they forget to shower. They become stinky. That's not the object of the game. You don't get an achievement for being stinky. Or maybe you do. I don't know. Can you get an achievement for being stinky? Backlink of the day for all of those of you who have websites, and I know 139 of you out there might have a website. This one goes to BIPA Networks, or BIPA Networks. They link back to the article on lockergnome.com for giving your home office a steampunk flavor. Thank you. And that website is bipanetworks.tk. Check them out. We've linked them in the description for this live TLDR episode. Let's build our own Geek ISP. For Geeks, says 100% overed. Nah, I don't think that would not end well. It wouldn't. Because every geek has got a different opinion. And you get a room full of people who have different opinions together, and you have a very loud room, and nothing ever gets done. I'm an ultimatum at gaming. I don't think much about things because Do you have something to say, Matt's 417, dude? If you're using games as an escape, that's not always a good thing. I mean, if that consumes your life. So, honey, you want to go ahead and get the thing? The little screen monitor thing. You know what I'm saying? No? Are you ready for this? Y'all ready for this? When I backlink, do I have to tell you, or do you just know? No, I need to know. Chris at Pirillo.com. When do you plan on having little geeky children, says Ilko187. I don't know. What are your thoughts on EEG mind controllers? At what point do you consider getting one? They're cute. They're interesting, but so hopefully this boots up. Apparently it wasn't charged up enough. Oh, yay!
Oh, right.
Let's see here. Video. Okay, no disk. Oh, it's about dying. Yeah, it's about dying. I don't know if it had a lot of time to charge. We will give this a shot. We'll try to make this. We'll get everything set up and then plug it in at the last second. I listened to what you said about all the versions of Windows and Mac. Just has one confusing. Huh? The irony of that is I was confused by the question that you were asking. I get all my premium channels free on Comcast. Oh, damn you, Brandon Fern. If you have any other questions, feel free to throw them out because, I may answer them in a separate video as I'm doing this unboxing beforehand. We may make it through 8 here. All right. Give me a second. Chris, can you mirror your laptop on one of the monitors so we can see it? No. Or I could, but I'm not going to. But thanks for asking. Let's see here. I loved Atari games. Well, I guess I still love Atari games. I have a handful of the ROMs from the cartridges that I once owned. And I've had different Atari controllers over the years. You may have remembered the time that our family unwrapped our first Atari. I guess we only had one, the Atari 2600. And I added a flashback console is what they're calling it, or I guess Atari, this is what they're calling it. It's kind of an all-in-one system for a lot of classic Atari games. I put it to my Amazon wish list at go.tagjag.com/wishlist. And last night, someone ended up getting it for me. It has the console right there in the middle, as well as 2 wired controllers, and the controllers look exactly like they did back in the day. So, yeah, I am a huge fan of Atari. Thank you, Daniel W.E. Jones, once again, for doing this, and you didn't have to. I really appreciate this, if only because now Diana is going to have experienced the joy of playing Atari for the first time. She's never played Atari before, and she's sitting right here as I get it set up and kind of do this unboxing. I'll have to say, I got this as a gift. Thank you. Love it. And I can't wait till my parents come over in, I think they're next week or so, and I'll have this there and say, you guys want to play some Atari? Because we had it back when I was a kid. That's all we had was the Atari. That's really the only home console. They had ColecoVision. I think I knew one person who had that, and Intellivision, I knew another person who had that. Someone else gifted me this from my Amazon wish list, thanks to, I added it because it had a Luke Skywalker exclusive minifig, but they didn't leave a name. So whoever gifted me the Star Wars Visual Dictionary with the special minifig for my wish list, thank you. I appreciate it. It's kind of like having a tip jar of sorts when you guys send me things from that wish list. So let's go ahead and open her up. The funny thing is I could name about half of these games on their screenshots alone. And I don't know if all of these Atari games come on here. If you can count it up, I think I don't know if this many came on there. I can see a few of them, and actually some of the screenshots look duplicated. So I don't know. There's a lot of them out there. Comes with this exclusive poster. My favorite Atari game of all time would be Adventure. Thank you for asking, Abby's 1996. What was your favorite Atari game if you had one? And if you don't, dude, you need to have a favorite Atari game. Everyone needs a favorite Atari game. So, this bag is not a toy. So when I run around with it on my head later, remind me that I should not do that. Let's go ahead, and I'm doing my best to set this up here during this video. Now, honey, when you were growing up, did you had video game consoles at home?
I think, yeah, Nintendo was my very first.
This is going to be a problem.
What?
I won't be able to use this because I need an RCA connection. So how can I do this? I'm looking around for a screen that has an RCA out. Or in, I should say. This is out here. Well, either that or I get a converter cable that can go into the... Let's try this. No, that won't work. Oh, this might work. I have no idea. We won't be... No, that won't work. Oh, this might work. I seriously have no idea. I'm going to try to go... I don't know if this is going to work yet or not, folks. I've got like various... Look at that. It even has the... What is that? 9-pin joystick connectors. Okay. I'm going to try going into video there. Although that... I don't know if that's video in or out. I don't really have any other video out for composite. I'm like thinking through the problem. Ow! Right now as I like kill my knee. Well, maybe we won't be putting this together. I thought we would, but even if we don't, I guess it's kind of fun to play with the joy. Here, play with the joystick.
Yay.
Plug it in there. Classic ports here. And let's see here. Let's unwind this. Plug it in. You know, I have a talk about flashbacks. I mean, I grew up with this. This is when video games were fun for me. Okay, where's the power for this thing? Boy, they hit it pretty well as I destroy it. Okay, seriously, there we go. Does it have a black and white toggle on here? I didn't see it here. Let's go ahead and I'm going to try this. I have no idea if this is going to work. Yeah, that may be video out. It may not be in. And hopefully there's enough battery reading. Yeah. I don't think there's enough. Yeah, I need a different system, I think. I need a different video system, but I need a converter. What do I have that takes Let me look around here. See if I can find anything that I can pull. I may be doing a separate video on this, folks. In fact, I think I'll have to because I don't have anything that goes from composite to... Well, let me think here. I got, so many cables and cords. Hang on. Ooh, I may have a solution. I think I have a solution. Let's see what happens here. I'm doing this on the fly. I'm going to re-record this video, though, so the unboxing, this can go away. This will not work. The unboxing thing will be different. I'm going to see about using another connector here. To use it, I need to use it as a webcam source. So if I open up, let's try photo booth. I have no idea how well, if this is going to work at all. No, that did not work. Is this on? Well, the XLR8 should be working. So I'm looking for the application that will allow me to view this video feed through here. Can't tell if it's on, though. Okay, that should be on. Okay, so that's on. Even though it's not illuminated and showing me that it's on, it's definitely plugged in. Ow! That hurt. That really hurt. I have no idea if it's even going to screw up the video for the live broadcast because I'm using the same computer to get it out. Oh, Mobiola, Vixia. No, I need the XLR8. There's software that will... I wish I can remember... How could I pull up the live source? I need basically an application that will allow me to output the RCA. And see, I've got this connector to like it's an RCA to a USB minus sound. So let me, sorry guys, I realized I should have troubleshot this beforehand, but I was thinking that I could do it another way, and that obviously did not work. No, that's not going to happen. It only wants to take in from the eyesight. So I shouldn't have to, this shouldn't need a battery. What was it? Hang on just a second, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. Honey, you want to answer some questions there while I try to get this? Yeah. I'm going to see if I can find the software for it.
Any questions, guys? Somebody said Chris used VLCC.
VLCC? Well, I'm looking at, I had the software. Oh.
What?
I have the software on another computer.
Oh.
It's downstairs in the second home office. It's got the big Locker Gnome logo on it.
Okay. On the desk?
Yeah, it's on the desk. It's in between the two big Mac monitors. You know what I'm talking about?
But doesn't it turn off when you unplug it?
No. I'll just use this adapter here because I don't need this computer in front of me. No, I need the software installed, and I don't want to have to like jump through the software. Thank you, sweetie. There's only one. It's a silver notebook with a big Locker Gnome head on it. Ow. Sorry, guys. Let me go ahead and stop recording on this one. That was, and I realized it was. This is what you get. This is behind the. You want to know behind the scenes? That's totally behind the scenes. I'm gonna have to shoot that one again. Diana did have a good happy birthday. Thank you for asking. And what I'm gonna do, why I didn't think of using that before is beyond me. Sorry about that, guys. God, I love this channel, says Tardy Nergzgun. Well, I'm happy to oblige. This is what happens. I cannot be the only person who runs into issues with cables and connections and whatnots. One of these days, you know, the original Atari had the connector was you would attach it to your antenna. Yes.
This one.
Yes, this one. Okay, perfect, honey. Let's give this a shot.
It's very cold.
It is very cold because it hasn't booted up in a while. Okay, so I'm not going to see the chat for a moment. Let's go ahead and set it on this. I guess, hang on, let's put it over here. See, it's the big Chris logo. Yeah. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, it wasn't plugged in. I'm thinking through the problem. Okay, it'll be easier in the my backpack there.
Yes.
There's a power cable cord thing. It's a big white thing. Thank you, sweetie. Let's see how well this works. And it should, because I know I have the accelerate on here, and then I'll just... It actually might work, because then they can see it from there. You can see it, I can see it, and then they can see it. Ah! Look at this mess behind my desk here. Look at this. This is rotten. It's horrible. Someone's trying to call me again. Yeah. Hang on, I gotta sneeze. Chris, what's it? Can you show us behind the scenes? You are seeing behind the scenes. Shut up. Oh, honey, if ever there was a day to sip grape juice plus, it is absolutely today.
I'm going to answer some questions.
Okay, sweetie.
Nobody's asking.
No one's asking? May have to hit refresh here. You can Photoshop all these bloopers out, Chris. I doubt it. Well, thank you. For the live TLDR episode, it's just going to have to stay. I was expecting, unless there are any other questions we can record as separate videos, we may be just sticking with 8 altogether.
Scariest sneeze ever.
That was scary?
Funniest sneeze ever. Grape juice plus.
Behind the scenes, live.pirillo.com. That was not a funny, it wasn't even a funny sneeze.
The funniest sneeze ever.
Well, I better be careful because I don't know if I may be controlling something on the system here. Let me turn it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out from this system through a conversion cable into, oh man. I know someone really needs to get a hold of me, but they don't realize that every weekday at 3 p.m. I'm doing this.
Our date was great last night. Thanks, Target Hunter. No.
Oh, where is it? Don't tell me going through all this. Oh.
What?
I forgot I installed Lion on here. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. We may have to do this as a separate video tomorrow. Because I don't think I'm going to get this all set up in time, sweetie.
Somebody said, what is the first Atari game that I will experience?
We don't know. And why is this not working?
It'll be a surprise.
Why is Google not working? Google work. Oh, man.
Last night was fun. I had dessert. It was delicious.
There we go. I need the software.
They can hear Wicket.
The neighbors can hear Wicket. XLR8 software. Oh, man. I hate... see, to think that, you just plug and play on a Mac? No, it doesn't work that way. XL... Wicket!
Okay, come here.
One of these days, Alice.
Come here.
To the moon. Oh, I know I've got an account. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this tomorrow, dude. I'm gonna have to figure this out tomorrow because it's gonna take too much setup. I'm wasting everybody's time.
Darky dog bog.
All right, you guys, you're just gonna have to wait for tomorrow. If you watch the TLDR episode, you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. Not to tease you, but it's gonna have to be tomorrow. Sorry. Tomorrow the Atari comes. All the more reason to tune in tomorrow. Let's try to answer one more question though before we do the Atari thing. You want to see the world's ugliest minifig that I got on eBay? The world's ugliest minifig, as deemed by me. And he's got like red gloves too. Look at that. I'll take his jewels off here. The ugliest. Look, the guy's just ugly. He's fugly. I can't believe I bought him. I spent money on this guy because he's fugly. I'm like, I might as well have like a fugly thing. See, if I don't do, guys, I'm sorry for disappointing. I can't do it. I can't do it any other way because I don't have, other than moving the camera, which is tethered, I don't have anything else that's portable that will take the composite video connection. I don't have a lot of screens that are that portable.
Johnny Boy Life says he'll wait.
He'll wait for tomorrow? Thank you, Johnny Boy Live. Appreciate it. Do we have any other... Well, okay, just tune in tomorrow. It's not like, this is too much of a problem. No, this doesn't have composite. I don't have any monitors that I know of that have composite. At least not anymore. These are DVIs. Dual-link DVIs, actually. Or I needed a car that took that dual-link DVI. So one more. Let's see if we can answer one more question before I have to get to this pile of crap on my floor. Chris, dude, goat tower of a million. What? This Dell monitor does not have composite. I'm confident it does not have... I can't even switch inputs. There's no input. It's one thing. Trust me on this. I know. Now, I don't think I can go in on this camera. So now I'm trying to think through, how could I do this? And I don't even, on the new Google TV, doesn't have composite. It's just component or HDMI. And I don't have an HDMI converter. That's the next thing I need is I need an HDMI converter, the composite to HDMI, or component to HDMI. It does not have composite. I know it does not have composite. God, I'm full of nerd rage today. They're right. I need to get that checked out.
Maybe we should take a nap.
Maybe, yeah, I think I agree with your diagnosis. We need to take a nap. Can you burp talk like Bill Murray's character in Meatballs? Dude, can I hang out with you on Google+? I told you, yes, if we get 300 likes, but we're nowhere near that today. Any other questions that we can try? I want, if I can, at least one more question before having to close out today, or any other video, because I was counting on that one as my 8th video. Yeah, as my grand finale was going to be that, and now I don't have it. I'm like, I'm wondering here. Let's look at lockergnome.net, or let's look at talk about why technology can be so hard to use sometimes. Yeah, but I need to get to a point with that, because we all know that technology can be so hard. Take some meds for your ADHD. I don't have ADHD. I have anger issues. There's a difference. And that really pisses me off that you would even... I'm sorry. I wasn't kidding about that last part. Let's do this. Who put the question mark in the teleprompter? Google likely to face FTC complaint over Search Plus Your World. They shouldn't, because I think it's awesome sauce. Apple announces special events in New York on January 19th. Apparently they aim to take on the textbook market. See, that's actually kind of interesting. Yeah. Microsoft said planning Microsoft marketing shakeup. Well, it's about time. Although I guess people are going to lose their job. Hundreds of peoples. Nokia could sell 37 million Windows phones this year. Bringing Facebook comments to mobile. Microsoft Web TV subscription plan on hold. US PC shipments slip 6% in Q4, while Apple's jump 21%. PC shipments slip 6%. Apple's shipments increase 21%. Yikes. Sony bringing its Music Unlimited cloud service to iOS this quarter. Cool, but how much will it cost? Shazam launches new app to replace iOS music player. Interesting. Symantec accused of using scareware tactics to sell full version products. Surprise, surprise. I'm looking here. Recorded and internet-delivered content surpasses live TV viewership. That does not shock me, but I don't know if that's really a separate video. Google Hangouts add screen sharing to list of collaboration tools. Well, that was already available to a lot of people, I thought. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any interesting other headlines out there. Any other questions from the crowd as I scan those headlines? Chris, have you personally checked? Oh, I missed it. Scrolled too quickly. Do a Siri? Massage, not message. What? Netflix is now in the UK. Yes. Will the MacBook Pro ever have wireless charging? Probably. Am I a PSP fan? Absolutely not. Okay. Not really any interesting questions there. Sorry, guys, for everybody who stayed tuned this long to only be disappointed by the lack of play that I was planning on doing there. Really not any good questions on lockergnome.net either at all. Other than, is Google getting too greedy? I don't know if that's a good question. Do you think Windows is overpriced? Now, see, that might be a good question. Okay, let's go with that one. That's on lockergnome.net. As I was scanning for questions, watching the live chat box on the YouTube live broadcast of TLDR, the Locker Gnome Daily Report, I also looked at the chat room on live.pirillo.com. Really nothing interesting came, I guess, to me by way of you asking some potential questions to answer in videos. So I looked over on lockergnome.net, and there was a question asked, do you think Windows, assumably Microsoft Windows, is overpriced? That's interesting. If Microsoft does not adjust their pricing strategies, yes, over time, Windows will become increasingly overpriced. In a day and an age where we can buy applications for just about any platform for 99 cents, or even get them for free, and sometimes a little bit more than that, the idea of spending $100 on an operating system just seems to be overpriced for an OS upgrade, going from, let's say, Windows Vista to Windows 7. I mean, there's no question there. You need to upgrade. Going from Windows 7 to Windows 8. How much is that going to cost you? And then you've got to think about where you can use that license. The way Microsoft has done it is, well, traditionally speaking, you would have to buy a separate license for each computer that you wanted to upgrade, which that's not cheap by anybody's measurement. And even if they sold it for $30, if you had 3 computers to upgrade, that's $90. Now you can compare that to other operating systems. Linux, that doesn't really cost you anything in terms of money, or OS X, $30, and you can use the license on any particular Mac. Yeah, it seems to me that going up against $30 or free, Windows is terribly overpriced today. And I don't think anybody would argue with that. I don't think anybody would say, I want to spend more money on Windows. If anything, it's too cheap. No one's going to say that. No one in their right mind, other than someone who works for Microsoft, is going to say that. In fact, I don't know if you guys knew this. As I was scanning the headlines, I did mention it during the live broadcast. One that popped out, and I mentioned this, is hey, you can get mad at me all you want. This is directly from the headlines. Let me scroll to it. Let me find it. According to TechCrunch, U.S. PC shipments slipped 6% in quarter 4. Q4, just a few months ago, they slipped 6%. Went down. Now, what's interesting, Apple's computers, Macs, jumped 21%. So some people are saying Macs are expensive. Well, they may be, but it seems that a lot more people wanted to buy Macs than PCs in Q4. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. Look, dude, I'm not the one who asked the question, and I'm not the one who created that headline, okay? This is a reality. How's Microsoft going to compete against an OS that's free? Let's just take Apple off the table for just a moment, just so you know this isn't about Apple, okay? Or not specifically. Even though they're in the same universe of personal computing, when you're going up against free, that's a challenge. And I would say that for most people, Ubuntu or potentially even a Chromebook can do 75% of what they need to do. Surf the web, check email, manage photos, do some word processing, spreadsheet applications, presentations. You don't need much for that, and it can be done on the web. So if you're asking me if I think Windows is overpriced, my answer is yes. In today's marketplace, absolutely. And if you do not see that as a reality, you just wait a couple more years. Trust me, if Microsoft does not adjust its pricing and licensing strategies, it is in bigger trouble than it already is. Have you seen its stock? You could drive a car on its stock, it's so stable. So, you may agree or disagree. That is the question. Do you believe it's overpriced? And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Now that we had the mess of me, well, the whole hour, some could argue, but specifically with, I can't believe I got that, I screwed that up. I never screw these things up. This is a challenge when you're a one-man shop in front of the camera. Luckily, I've got team members who support me from around the world. And without the team at Locker Gnome, I would not even be able to do this here today in front of the computer and camera with you. So you can tune in tomorrow to watch us play with our joysticks. It'll be fun. We'll have a joy time there with the joystick. You can, of course, in the meanwhile, subscribe to the Locker Gnome newsletter at lockergnome.com. It's right there in the sidebar. Share our articles if you can, our videos as well. Embed them, link back to our articles on your own website if you have your own website. We certainly appreciate all of those backlinks. You may be the backlink of the day tomorrow. And then, of course, we hope you do join us tomorrow as well. And apparently, that's weird. It stopped broadcasting at some point. This is really strange. Look at this, hon. It still says it's live over here, but over here it says the live recording you're trying to play is, oh, it's done recording. What the F diggity? I didn't hit stop recording and I didn't hit stop broadcasting. Oh. That's strange. You need to upgrade. Going from Windows 7 to... Yeah, it didn't... Weird. The live recording you're trying to play is being processed, but it's still broadcasting. Okay, boy, today is just full of issues. I still see you, Chris, someone says. I'm still there, but it says it's no longer... Okay, I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead because I have no idea what the hell's going on right now. Dude, I'm broadcasting this particular recording live, and it tells me the live recording you're trying to play. Would someone who works at YouTube Live please get back to me with these problems? Thanks! It gets really frustrating when I'm trying to use your product and give you troubleshooting help, and you don't respond to the problems I have either at the beginning or the end of a video. I have no idea if I'm even broadcasting right now. Oh yeah, today I am full of nerd rage. We'll see you later.